I got a question.
Like this little flashing chest.
I like it. It's pretty good. I got a question.
Do tell, or do ask, I guess.
Do you want to fart in each other's faces?
I have been renowned to 69 fart, so I'll take a definite pass.
All right. Since you passed on that one, I got another question. I like how you didn't acknowledge it.
I was turning my face away, hoping you wouldn't fart in my face. But anyway, yeah.
Too late. What was your job in prison?
Like my actual prison job throughout my entire stay in prison was a fucking janitor.
Yeah, it was.
Well, that fucking stunk.
Yep.
Sucked total titties. It wasn't good. But I made the best of it. But before, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But really, I'm going to tell you what my unofficial job in prison were. Or rather, jobs. But yeah, my official job in prison, I was a fucking janitor. Mm-hmm. You know, and I didn't really mind. Because it gave me an opportunity to do several fucking things. For one, it gave me... I like to play them mind games. You know what I'm saying?
You're like the Cerebral Assassin.
Yeah, I'm the Cerebral Assassin. No, I like to play them mind games, but in a good way. I wasn't trying to fuck anybody over. Mm-hmm. But I figured... prison is a weird place. A lot of machismo. A lot of people, you know, strutting their stuff around thinking they're hot shit. A lot of fucking people getting butthurt real quick. Yep. You know? Issues with respect, etc. So I decided to make my own name in prison by being the guy that does what nobody else does. So when I learned that I was a janitor, I went out of my way to be the best fucking janitor there ever was. Now you might be thinking, who the fuck gives a shit? Mm-hmm. But in prison, being a janitor means you're cleaning the living area of everybody else. So what I did was, I not only did my cleaning, but I did the cleaning of every single one of my coworkers during that shift. I did the cleaning of every other shift. There's 3 shifts. I did the cleaning of their shifts, and I did it all for free. Because in prison, nothing's for free. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I got your work for you. Just give me one of them chips, or, you know, give me a soup, and I got you. I'll do your mopping or whatever. Fuck no. I did it all for free. I got you, man. Don't worry about it. Now... some people in prison might go, man, that dude's a fucking tool. That's a pushover. I'm going to take advantage of that fool. Well, not me, because fuck that shit. I'm not going to let you do that.
Cerebral Assassin.
Yeah, Cerebral Assassin. So I was playing both sides of the angle. I wasn't being a pushover. I was just being a nice person. I'm going to do it for you. 1, I wanted to keep myself busy. 2, people are lazy as fuck, so they'll be like, all right, man. 3, every now and then, just because I didn't ask, people would be like, hey, man, you want to eat with us? You want to do... So that was nice, but, you know, that's not why I did it. I just did it to ingratiate myself, to make a specific name for myself, to make sure that I stood out, and nobody was fucking around with a guy that cleaned up after them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not nobody. In fact, sometimes the TV is a big fucking thing in prison. Fuck with the TV and you're going to get... there's just going to be a fucking fight over a stupid station being changed.
You're going to be shanking over Wendy Williams.
Fuck yeah, man. Especially Wendy Williams. They'd be like, fuck no. Yes. Like that. Yeah. But, yeah, man. I could go into the TV room, basically ask for whatever I wanted. And there might be a few people that'd be like, what the fuck? But then somebody would inevitably go, hey, man, this dude cleans up. I'm good. Not that I did that. Yeah, I did on a few. I did a few occasions, but that's just when I really wanted to watch something like Constantine. I was like, I'm fucking watching this shit, and never got any flack for it. They were like, yeah, fuck yeah, man, do your thing. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that was a good way to ingratiate myself. However, if you are in prison, you know that they don't pay shit, especially in Texas. There are some states that actually have some common sense, and they'll pay you like
common sense.
Yeah, literally a millicent. Yeah. For 10 billion hours of work. But not Texas.
Nope.
They in fact make sure that you don't get paid, and that you do get anally wrecked. But
I like how you almost said raped, but
yeah,
course corrected.
Yeah, well, still Texas did in fact anally rape me, but not to the degree where I was like, ow, my butt. But anyway, no, yeah, man, I fucking I had to, on occasion, take on unofficial jobs to get little extras. You know what I'm saying? If, food, they give you 3 meals, 3 squares, as they say. Mm-hmm. But sometimes that ain't enough. And sometimes you just want to be kind to other people. Or at least I did. and be like, you know what? Let's all have a meal together. Let's make the best of this, whatever, right? So to do that, I would take on other jobs. And
did you ever make like a seal?
I did not make like a seal.
Okay, that's good.
I did not prostitute my anus to anybody except for the state of Texas, apparently.
We just had to get that out of the way.
Yeah, no, it wasn't nothing like that, man. But I will say this. There was several times when I almost started tattooing, but I think it was not meant to be. Call me superstitious, but the cards were stacked against me and fate was not nodding my way towards becoming a prison tattoo artist. And this all began because I can draw, So I would do it to pass the time at first. And of course, people started noticing, oh, look at that shit, man. And then they started going, hey, could you draw me this? Yeah, okay, cool, man. I'll pay you so and so much. Well, shit, cool. So I would do little art for people, And then I went from doing just random art pieces to doing Christmas cards and Valentine cards, which I hated. I hate that shit. I don't like to draw shit that I don't like to draw. So I stopped doing that because people are already doing that, and I didn't want to infringe on their hustle. I was like, fuck it. I don't need extra food. I don't need nothing like that. I'm just going to draw for myself. But then a little tattoo artist in the dorm went, what's that you got there, Chumley?
And he didn't have glasses. Which
he didn't. Yeah, it was just his fucking skin.
Yeah.
It was not good.
That's what called you Chumley.
Yeah. For his fucking 30s.
Yep.
Bumping that Scott Jopp.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, he comes up and he's like, hey, man, that's pretty good. Would you be interested in drawing patterns for me to lessen his workload? And he goes, and I'll cut you a piece of my take. So I took on that job for a while. And after a while of doing that, he suggested that he teach me how to tattoo. He was the only tattoo artist in that dorm. And he suggested that I should take it up too. Now that's incredibly rare that somebody's willing to share their hustle. But I was interested in learning in general. So I was like, cool, man. And he did start to teach me how to do it. I'm not a tech head, so he tried to teach me how to construct the actual prison guns, the tattoo guns. And I was like, I don't even know what the fuck's going on here. But anyway,
like, what is this?
Yeah. But, he's like, don't worry about it. You could just have somebody buy one for you, blah, 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 blah. And then you do the work for them to pay it off, etc. And I started learning how to do that. But that's around the time, one of our previous stories with the super gay black dude, Juicy, getting in a fight. That happened. And that night I got called out.
I don't know. I'm making that face.
And I didn't pick up the tattooing again. So I ended up in another unit. And again, there, I started with the art. I started with the drawing tattoo designs for people. And again, somebody was like, hey, man, why don't you get into the tattoo biz? And this was a gangster guy, because that dorm was run by this particular gang. And he was like, mind you, it was a peaceful dorm, but he was like, why don't you get into that tattoo thing? We'll get your equipment. We'll keep it for you. All you gotta, you can earn your money. All you gotta do is tattoo us. And I thought about it, and immediately in the back of my head, I was like, fuck no. Because tattoo us means tattoo your ass all the fucking time. And then I'm just beholden to you. So I told him, let me think about it. And thankfully, I literally got moved to another fucking dorm like about 2 days later. So I didn't have to do that. I wasn't beholden to anybody. I didn't have to have this big confrontation with these fuckers that clearly just wanted to use that particular part of me, my anus, and my anus, yeah. And I got moved to another dorm, and in this other dorm, I started hustling flicks. Now you're thinking, how the fuck were you hustling movies? It's not what flicks are. Flicks in prison are also known as kill shots, and kill shots are basically pictures of chicks. Now, if you're thinking, what good is that? Then clearly you have no penis. But the point is, in prison, people have to make time to masturbate because the alternative is an anus, a male anus.
Yeah, it is.
And that's like last draw for a lot of people. But yeah, man. So there's like this underground network of people that are selling pictures. And at first I attempted to get pictures so I could double my take through you. And that well dried out relatively quick. So then I turned in prison. I turned to purveyors of them, and I started buying pictures and accumulating them. Now, you buy these, they cost like 50 cents or whatever. What I did was I would find the right sellers, people that were desperate for fucking money, and I'd be like, yeah, man, shit, I'll buy, these. I would pick the ones I wanted, and I said, I'll give you this much, and I'd always have a little change because, again, people would give me stuff for doing all the cleaning and all that shit. So I'd be, I'll give you this much for these particular shots, and he'd be like, fuck yeah, desperation is an ugly whore. And I would accumulate these shots, and they would be like the baddest fucking shots of all time. So bad that I was like, man, I gotta go flog one out to these too because fuck.
And you went in the restroom and flog. It's all you heard.
Yeah, it was just me going flog, not jacking off.
That was
at all.
A weird part.
But yeah, man, I accumulated like the fucking baddest asses set of shots ever. And then when I ended up in that other dorm, I had this massive stack of shots. This other dorm had this dude named Walter. And I didn't even have to fucking ask. The moment you get to a dorm, people will ask you certain things. First of all, they'll ask you things like, where are you from? They'll tell you what the rules of the dorm are. They'll tell you about your cellie. They'll tell you, all these little things that are always ticked off when you go to a new dorm. One of the first things they'll tell you is where you can get shit from. So-and-so has this. So-and-so has that. If you need this, that. Another thing they'll ask you for is, hey, man, you got any shots? Because people be wanting to buy them shits. So I'm like, yeah, I got a few.
Let me bring out your freaking...
Yeah, they were like, oh, let me see. And I took them bad boys out, and they were like...
You heard
fucking little steam coming out.
You heard a lot of whoosh.
Oh, yeah. There was some definite boners being erected that day by anuses. But anyway, yeah, man, everybody was like, holy shit, how much you want for this, boy? And I said, Nathan, damn, them motherfuckers is mine. Because part of me was like, man, those fuckers are so bad. I want to keep them.
Yep.
But the other part of me was, no. You know what? I'm going to drive the fucking demand on these fuckers so high that people are going to be tripping trying to get these shots. Well, they were like, oh, man, you changed your mind. You let me know, man. I got you $5 for a fucking shot, dude. That is unheard of,
Yeah.
$1.
I wouldn't even pay that shit out here.
Yeah, $1 was a lot for a shot.
Yeah.
Like, that's a badass shot. I was getting offers for $5, fucking like crazy. And I was like, damn, man. And there was like an assortment of old dudes, especially. And I have a feeling they were all like fucking chomos.
Probably.
Because they were like on me like hawks. Like, man, whenever you gotta sell them, let me know. I got you, old man. Shit. The fuck? I'm not gonna sell them yet. Well, amidst these group of fucking like apparently perverts, there was this one dude named Walter, who, by the way, the first time I encountered Walter was in school, and we had this fucking teacher that fucking sucked. Well, the school sucked because school there's for tards, literally. No, in fact, tards have better schooling than this shit. It's just they cater to people that aren't that bright. So I'm not to say that I'm fucking genius or anything, but I was definitely like, whoo, this is some fucking...
I know what a circle is.
Yeah, this is some frog level education. But yeah, man, I was like, man, this is bad. Well, one day this fucking Walter dude just up and says exactly what's on my mind. The teacher's droning out fucking, forever about nonsense, and he just lets out, boring. And I was like, I like that guy. Turns out I didn't like that guy. But the point is, Walter came up to me one day, and he's like, hey, I hear you got some kill shots. And I already knew the role. I was going to show him the shots. They were going to envy them. And I was going to say, nah, I'm good.
You're going to get shanked. They're going to take the shots. And you're going to regret your entire life choices.
Take them little bad boys. No, see, I was good with Maselli, and Maselli was good with everybody. It was this black guy named Callie, and he was the shit. He was pretty awesome. So I was good, in terms of shankins. That was pretty good. Although, another video, I potentially almost got killed there. There was no fight or anything like that, but it came to the edge. But that's another story. Anyway, Walter comes up to me and he's like, I hear you got some shots. I'm like, check these bad boys out. He goes to them and he's making a little stack. And I already knew what this little move was. This was the I want to buy these stack. But I noticed that stack is pretty light. And I'm like, oh, that's unusual. because usually the stack would be the whole fucking stack just put over here because those shots were badass. Can't emphasize that enough. They were good shots. But anyway, he goes, how much you want for these? And I'm like, oh, I'm not selling them, man. And he's like, oh, come on, you got to sell them to me. And I'm like, so I look at the shots like I'm going to be like mulling it over. And I'm like, I noticed a theme here. And I said, there's a lot of feet being shown in these shots.
Dan Schneider.
And I'm like, hey, you want to slide it inside her, Schneider? No. I was like, yeah, what all right, fuck it, you know? I'm seeing potential niche market here. So I'm like, what do you want to give me for them? What do you think they're worth? Put that in their little bucket, see how they smell it. I don't even know what that means. Anyway.
He said, I'll give you a foot job. And you're like, oh.
And I took it. And, no, but he goes, well, it was 4 shots, by the way. And he goes, I'll give you $20 for them.
Damn! That's a lot for me now.
Yeah. I was like, what? That's like,
I'll marry you for that much.
That's like a paycheck in prison. You know what I'm saying? That's like a paycheck in prison. And I was like, what? Serious?
Yeah.
I'm like, I even kind of felt bad, but I was like, let me think about it. So I take them back, and he's like, let me know as soon as you want to sell them. I'm like, I got you, man. They're for you. If I sell them, they're for you. So I turn to my cellie and I say, hey, Callie, what's up with this shit right here with this guy? What's up? And he's like, oh, dude, that guy be janking on his bed all day long. Sure enough, I stroll by his bed, and the top of because he was on the bottom bunk, the bottom of the top bunk, aka his ceiling, was lined with fucking pictures. And sure enough, and eventually I heard stories from everybody. That dude was a jack monster. And I'm like, huh? $20, huh? So I go up to him again. I'm like, all right, man, if you're willing to give me $20, then all right. And he goes, well, what do you want? I got you next time store hits. Cool. Commissary hits, $20. So now I'm like, what kind of shots you like? And sure enough, this guy is like, I want feet.
Foot fiend.
But he specifies nothing with red toenail polish.
Oh, is it this guy?
Yeah, this guy. And I'm like, all right. So now I'm on a foot quest. Because, get this, these shots, this big stack of shots, I bought for dirt cheap, as I aforementioned. So this whole stack didn't cost me $20. I just made back my profit and then some on 4 shots.
Yep.
So what I do is I visit one of my old dorms while I'm cleaning. The previous dorm I was at. And there was these woods. Woods are like, they're a white, they're not a gang. They're like, all the Mexicans, or I should say all the Latinos protect themselves, all the blacks protect themselves. The woods are basically that. It's all the white people protecting themselves. And well, I knew some people in the woods, and I was like, hey, it was this dude named Hollywood. Not me, Hollywood. That was me in jail. This is prison time. And I was like, hey, Hollywood, you still got them shots you were selling. I could sell them for you. Just give me a cut. And he's like, hell yeah, man. I can't sell them in here. He gives me this stack about this big. I go, how much you want for each shot? And he goes, 25 cents, 50 cents each.
Dude,
and I go, I got you, man.
Your stank hustle.
Fuck yeah.
Where was these hustle skills when we try to hustle freaking Walmart?
Fucking Bananarama and shit.
we actually paid $800 for one tile.
Well, they were gone by then. The point is, I fucking took this stack and I said, I got you, man. So I go to Walter. Well, first of all, I go and I look through the stack, pick the best feet shots there ever was, little hooves and shit. I go up to Walter and I go, man, I got some feet for you.
And
he was like, fuck, hell yeah, I want these all. And he goes, how much you want for the whole stack? And it was, the stack that he took out of that bigger stack was maybe like 25 pictures. And I go, what do you want to give me? He gives me $42 for it.
Dude.
You didn't even have to hustle this guy. You didn't have to fucking, barter, nothing.
Dude.
He would just offer up these huge prices. And I was like, dude, I got you.
Take a spit roasting for $40.
Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do this. So with that, I just did the math and paid Hollywood what he wanted. He didn't know I sold him for that much. Kept the rest of his
now he saw this video and it's going to come to Shanky.
Yeah. And then the rest of the stack I just sold at, whatever prices the other jackmos in there wanted them for. But I was always feeding that Walter lust for feet, And my biggest swindle was when I got one of the nude shots. Every now and then, the guards would slip in laminated Buttman pages and shit like that. And these things would make the rounds in prison. So by the time somebody would get them, they'd be all fucked up and shit. But I got some brand new nude shots. And I was like, oh, I'm going to make a killing with these. And sure enough, all these old fucks were like fucking bidding war for these fucking shits, you know? Man, I'll give it so much. And well, Walter comes in, and he didn't want the majority of them, but there were a couple of them in there that he was like, want those. Made a badass killing with those, sold the rest. That was good, man. But then I got a conscience about it. I was like, this is bad. I'm just perpetuating people's, addictions and shit like that. So I stopped the old hustle. And coincidentally, I moved about 2 months after that. I moved to my final unit. At that final unit, I almost tattooed again. I met one of my hometowns, and he was like, man, I got you. And he was good. He was a cool guy, you know. I had drawn for him, and he had paid me incredibly well. On top of that, I kept his stuff for him in my locker, and he paid me to do that, which he didn't have to. He fed me every weekend. He was just a really nice guy, really cool cat. And on top of all that, he wanted tattoo work. And I said, you know what? They taught me how to use a gun. I can try to do it on you. I go, but I've never done it, and I'm very insecure about it. And he goes, I'll tell you what, man. I'll buy you the gun. It'll be your gun. All you got to do is work on me, and that's it. And he wasn't affiliated with anybody. So I was like, oh, that's a pretty good deal. And he hadn't done me wrong up to that point. So I was like, huh, all right. I go, but tell you what, I need some practice first, because I don't want to fuck you up, because I've never done it before. So he's like, I'll line some people up for you. Again, this is going to sound racist, but the first people to line up were black people, which was pretty cool, because it was a good way to the race bridge is hard to cross in prison. You know, people are not keen on jokes. We joke a lot about race here, but that's it. We joke about it, you know, but it's hard to know where people are about that in prison, especially where it's such a big thing. So that was a good way to be like, cool, man, this guy's cool. This is a cool cat right here. So yeah, man, immediately like 10 black dudes were like, man, you got me, whatever. So I started drawing up designs for them. Oddly enough, I already had some designs, and I had this one of like this guy in a suit, holding a gun like this, with a gun like coming up to the viewer's perspective, and the guy was wearing a hood. Now it was just like a sack with holes. But the sack had like a pointy, so it looked like a fucking KKK guy. It wasn't. It was just it was supposed to be like a robber with a hood on, right? And I was like, oh shit, because I give him the stack of drawings, and I was like, he's gonna think that's a fucking, and I'm fucked if he thinks that's that, which I clarify it was not. But anyway, he looks at it and he goes, oh man, I want that one.
And you're like, all right.
And I was like, all right, well, there you go, cool. So I was lined up, ready to go. I said, I'll do you first. But then this dude, this fucking dude, I forgot what his name was. But anyway, this fucking other black dude said, I'll pay for his tattoo if you do me first. And I said, all right, cool. And he goes, you gotta, this is what I want you. I can't remember what he wanted me to draw up, but I drew it up, and it took me a while to draw it up because it was pretty intricate. And while I was drawing it up, I got moved to another dorm.
All right.
So it was like not meant to be. And I told him, hey, man, I just got moved. Here, you can have the drawing. It's yours for free. Oh, I remember what it was. It was a heart, and half of it was like a demon face ripping out of the heart. And then there was like one of the ventricles turned into a angel wing on the other side. Kind of typical shit for prison, but it looked really neat. And so
definitely not something that you want to do as a beginner.
Yeah. But again,
black guy.
That doesn't. Again, it's because you can't really tell when you make a mistake.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's.
I got you.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying that. Just clearing that up. But anyway, so I got moved to another dorm. At this other dorm, my final dorm, I had put in to go to a faith dorm because I was looking to get myself spiritually straight, and obviously. At this point, I was like, look, clearly I was not meant to do this tattoo thing. I'm just going to focus on this. There, I just drew some more. Did my little thing. Did a lot of portraits in there. That's where I kind of learned to draw portraits. A skill that I have kind of lost now. But I'm sure I could get back into the swing of it.
Dude, if you ever need someone to teach you how to draw mean shrimps,
you're the guy.
I'm covered.
You're the shrimp god.
Okay, covered.
In smell and otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, man, I was doing portraits. Again, I don't mean to sound racist here.
Woo!
But,
it's always good when we get to...
No. Check it out. I was drawing portraits in general, but then I was like, man, it takes a good long time to do them if you're going to do them right. And I figured out that the easiest portraits to draw were black people portraits. Ooh. Like the easiest because of all the shading.
Oh, okay.
You could hide a lot of, mistakes and you could work the mistakes into something different. So I started just pimping myself out to black folk.
I'll say this. The fact that you said because of the shading saved you a lot of shit that I was going to give you.
Oh, well, that's good. But, yeah, man, the thing is, some of these people...
Pimp yourself up to black people is what you said.
Well, yeah, but in the good way. But anyway, so I was doing a lot of portraits for black folk because I could do those a lot quicker. The shading just really helped. And then I encountered this dude named Washington who decided, first of all, he was going to be a fucking armchair artist.
What?
Be like, hey, do this instead of that.
No, that's the worst, dude.
It ain't going to work like that. I'm drawing the fucking thing. That's it. Anyway. I would be like in the middle of a fucking drawing. He's like, can you do this instead of that? No, man. I'm almost done. I can't just change. Anyway, I finished it. It was a portrait of him and his sister on a card, and it looked fucking badass. Framed in Aretha flowers, and it was just Aretha Franklin flowers.
I was gonna say.
It was badass looking, man. And my homeboy, my neighbor, Paul, who was also a black guy that kind of reminds me of Scatman Crothers. And the mummy mixed together. Mm-hmm. He's like, man, that's badass. You better charge Washington like $10 billion. And I was like, hell yeah. And so Washington comes up and he's like, all right, let me see it, man. You done? I'm like, shh. I was confident. This motherfucker looked exactly like his Frankenstein ass.
Did a little walk up to him.
And his sister looked exactly like her, right?
Her Frankenstein ass?
No, she was actually, not hideous. But anyway, I go, check it out. And he goes, oh, man, I'm not that ugly. I said, bitch, you're ugly as sin.
Yeah.
I didn't say that, but I was like,
thought it.
I already knew what this was. It wasn't that he thought it was shit. It was that he was trying to drive the price down.
Yeah, he was.
And this was easily, a fucking $20 job. It was that good. And I already knew what it was. But homeboy, old Paul, come up and, use the N-word.
Yeah, he did.
And he said, you can't take his work away. He already did it. You better pay him what he deserved, what he earned, and that's that. And so very reluctantly, this fucker paid me out over the course of a month.
Damn, yo.
Yeah, and that was it. I was done with drawing for people. I was like, that's it. I'm not going to do it anymore. So anyway, those were my fucking hustles in prison. And, I didn't have to really do any of that. It was just more to pass the time and sometimes to help people out. Mm-hmm. Like I did a lot of free work, artwork for Paul, because he was cool. He was my cat. He was my dog. He was my boy. Not like that.
Ooh.
But yeah, he so whatever. But my real job, of course, was being a janitor, and I even learned how to pull little swindles on that because I did my job, and then on top of that, I would go. I didn't do no kiss assing. I didn't do any kiss assing with the guards. Fuck that shit. I was about doing the job, doing it right, getting done, and going back in. A lot of people would like to ask for jobs or ask for more work from the guards so they could find a way to get stuff done for them. I would just be like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then be done. And because of that, I gained a reputation among the guards that I was a cool cat.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, guards were taking care of me, which is a very precipitous cliff to walk in prison because people can start getting jealous of that shit. People can start assuming you're feeding the guards information. But I had gained such a good reputation to that point of being just a guy that does shit for people that people understood that. And on top of that, when the guards were good to me, I would turn around and share the wealth with everybody else. So that got me over too. So yeah, man, I just learned how to work with my environment, do my thing, sell fucking foot kill shots to perverts.
Cerebral Assassin.
Cerebral Assassin my way to the top, and then do an atomic drop while wearing a sumo top which is nothing.
Yep.
I just wanted to rhyme.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's been a little rant about my jobs in prison.
Yeah.
Hit like, share, subscribe. That's Goontick. I'm Ahab. We're a couple of fat, ugly fucks.
Oh, yeah.
Our portraits would be hideous, especially yours if you take off the mask.
It's true.
Anyway, we're out.